Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator, the mover, the grower, the motivator. Oh, appreciate you guys for being here. You could be anywhere, but you're rocking with us. Thank you for being on the replay. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for that as well. So I thank you for being here. And as always, sharing is caring. No, I'm probably pixelated right now because the thing is acting funky. Because it's just that kind of day. What's up, Lisa? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing because sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So kick off again my new segment of the Brothers of Legacy. Let's talk BOL news. BOL news. This segment's going to grow a little bit. I'm working on it. I'm being more segmentizing. Is that a word? Segmentizing my show, so it's not just talk, it's process. What up, Jeff? Good morning, sir. Good morning. So today I just found this out, and shout out, there's a morning broadcast I listen to. It's a couple of things that I dig into, but this one's courtesy of the Morning Show podcast. Morning Show podcast. So there's this organization called Commercial Operations Advisory Committee. Commercial Operations Advisory Committee. Now, this is just that interesting news. And if you hear something's changing, it's like it can open up a it's a segment and matize. Right there you go, Jeff. Thank you. Love it when someone can make sense of my logic. so there was a closed door meeting with the government, with this organization, Commercial Operations Advisory Committee, probably a what's that word? Geez, a lobbying group, to make ship manifest confidential. To make ship manifest confidential. So now we won't know where goods are coming from. So it makes it impossible to hold specific companies accountable. And this is one of the basic ones, for mistreatment of workers that get goods from a specific country. So you don't know where your goods are coming from. And on both sides of the aisles, they're always curious about where people are getting their goods and their products and things of that nature, because it matters. And what I didn't know, currently rail, truck, and air cargo manifests are confidential. So basically, this will hide the complete supply chain. This will hide the complete supply chain. Because a lot of things are uncovered because, news organizations go after these things and they have access. And, it's crazy, right? I thought about it as I was putting this together. I know there's this lack of confidence in the news and what they say. I get it. It's propaganda on both sides. Let's keep it 100. It's propaganda coming from both ways. Yeah. Said, right. It's interesting why somebody would want to hide that source of goods. Right. Very suspicious, Jeff. Very suspicious. So, the news, the one thing I give props to them, just news organizations, period, are the ones, especially like the papers and magazines, because they got time. they got time to dig. Their job is to find the juice. Their job is to go after those news stories where people are hiding things, putting things away, and it's helpful as a nation to know these things. I get it. Sometimes the truth hurts. When someone addicted to somebody or something we like, we hate, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to know someone we like has done some corruptible stuff. We don't want to hear that. But a lot of times these things need to be exposed. And it's so it's interesting. So I'm really, we should just pay attention to these things. So yeah, we should definitely know the sourcing of our materials and what's coming across our roads, what's being traveled. I get maybe the confidentiality of trucking or rail because because their fear is someone knows that a load of whatever is going somewhere and they may want to get that get that. I get it in a way. I get it in a way, but there should be access. There should be access after the fact. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to shape the law where it says while in transit, you can't know, but 24 hours after the fact, I should have access to what's traveling across the country. So yeah, definitely. So keep that in mind, guys. These are and can we have a keep it real moment? For anybody on either side, these are the things that we need to come together on. Like we agree, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot, honestly, there's more moments and more things we need to come together on than what really separates us. You realize like it's the constant stuff that separates us that's being thrown in our face. Hey, other side saying we need to get rid of this. Hey, what up, Richard? Good morning. We need to get rid of this. We need to do this. And we need to. So we honestly need to get into a space where we need to get into more of an agreement than disagreement. But that's me. That's me in my fairy tale land. Mama call me, oh, you're so young. You're so young. You need to just change, because I feel like we've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray on a lot of this stuff. Real talk. Like it's just more designed to keep us separated, just for voting and political purposes. I really feel like that. I feel like no one's really trying to pull us together because it's not in our best interest. You know what, Richard? I'm going to put that up. Do I think he's gonna run? Yeah. If I'm sure. I'm sure. Even if, because our argument here is Trump going to jail? It's just your first time here. Is Trump going to jail? And I certainly don't think so. Even if it comes close, he would still probably run because he got supporters. He has his whole thing is pushing against the system. So he's definitely got supporters. So I just my goal is, and just a quick note, I didn't write it in my notes, but it is early voting in Georgia. So make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. This is your opportunity to get out when you have time. So you have a day off somewhere between Monday and Friday. Get out there and vote. Happy Tuesday, Deborah. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Mama Corey. Great morning to you. Great morning to you. All right. So we're going to dig into our topic in a little bit, but today we are talking about seeing the value in your process, seeing the value in your process. So we're going to have a great conversation today. Some of my folks should be coming through. Hopefully I sent them the right link. It happens sometimes, sometimes you don't send the right link. So I'm going to make sure that we're all good in the hood. Do some texting while we take a quick countdown break. Let's see. And I have a question. I'm going to wait till he said reform Senate and Congress and elections. Yeah, that sounds good, Richard. That sounds good, Richard. The only problem is, let me tell you the only problem, because, one, we talk about term limits. That's been a discussion at both sides. Everybody feels like that should happen because some of these folks hold their job way too long, way too long. Also, like they, reform has to. It's different, right? The thing about, I really believe Senate and Congress reform should be a vote that the people are allowed to bring up. Like there needs to be like one more level of government that's maybe not elected. I don't know, that's unpaid. that where we have some level of power, because when it comes to raises and things that happen in the Senate and Congress, guess who gets to make those decisions? The Senate and the Congress. Maybe five. maybe 5. 2, you do, terms, maybe 5, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good one though. I'm not, maybe 4. I don't know. But the problem is the Senate and Congress controls all that. Like if and he just came in the building, me and Kaneem, aka Farside, passing me by, Okay. So if me and Kaneem was like we running something and we have to make the regulations for ourselves every year, hey Kaneem, should we get a raise? Ah, right. He raised his hand. A raise is coming. Like, who's not gonna give themselves some level of raise? Like, all right, we're in a bit of a struggle. We're not gonna give ourselves the same raise we had last year. We're just gonna cut it in half. But we get the raise. Like, when you control it, yeah. Some of those people in Congress and Senate are so dusty. We need to call Swiffer Company and customize a giant duster. Right. Listen, yeah, I'm gonna get in some trouble soon, but there's some folks, because like, and speaking of what, he just came in the building, Pastor Brian A. McCrory. Some folks die in the pulpit, and they should have been passing the torch before dying in the pulpit. Just like on the hill, should not be dying on the hill. Don't come for me. You should not, least, you're 50 or 60, possibly have a heart attack. I'm with it. It happens. But I'm talking about, All right. So you should not be there that long. Like if you're struggling to come down them steps to your spot, it's time to pass the torch. All right. That's it. I'm just saying. Because even if you step down, like, even in governmental positions, and I know I'm on a little bit of rant, even in a governmental position, right? You get older, you pass the torch, and your protege goes into office. You still have influence in their ear, So all your power is not gone because I'm young. I'm gonna go to pastor and say, "Hey, this is coming up," because you've been there. You've seen some things. Hey, it's like the best way. If I was in your position, I would handle it this way. And I take a note. I'm like, I know things have changed, so I might have to oppose pastor on this one, but I'm gonna take advice. I'm gonna listen at least to see, what I don't see. The ripple effect. Like, so I can, like we always say, counting up the cost of this decision. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's do this quick intro to give you a chance to share. 3 minutes, probably be shorter. So I just need to share. Sharing is caring, and let's go. What up, gentlemen?
Gentlemen.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right. So,
how you feel, my brother?
I'm great, man. How you doing, Doc?
I can't complain, brother.
Can't complain. Good to see
I was
you,
gonna start calling
here.
you. I was gonna start calling you KC, like that nurse.
God.
Oh,
Hey, that's my initials.
Right.
If you want to give me something for Christmas, give me a KC hat. That's the Kansas City Chiefs or the Kansas City Royals. It don't matter.
It don't matter. I was thinking KC, JoJo, Devontae.
I was thinking KC and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, see that.
Well, I mean, they all got hits. I mean,
yeah, right, 100%. All right. So I think this might become a tradition. He said, "Man, look at that sunshine." And Kaneem's go, "Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
nice
notice the hoodie that he has on to validate this 40-degree weather.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's nippy out here.
Let's keep it 100 in the great state of Georgia. It's 40 now. It'll be about 80 by 1.
Right.
1 o'clock. That hoodie will be off. By 1 o'clock.
Only in metropolitan Atlanta can you have 65 degrees at 3 o'clock and 80 degrees at 5 o'clock.
Right.
It has happened.
Yes. Oh, all right. So today's hip hop name, Pharcyde. Pastor,
yes.
Do you know Pharcyde? You know him. You remember the song "Passing Me By"? Passing me by. She keeps passing me by. Passing me. No.
She keeps passing me by. You don't remember that? Oh, come on.
Okay.
Right. It's all right.
Unless you guys are just tearing it up.
We a little bit. But we close. Siri might know. Siri will know what we talking about.
Hey, we had to play
Pharcyde?
No. One day.
If Jeff Carter knows Pharcyde, I'm gonna have to give up my card.
Right.
Your
application is in. We are considering. Oh man! All right. So today we're talking about seeing the value in your process. Yesterday we kind of talked about fear and confidence. Today he said I didn't recognize a single note.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that.
Not choir boys. Oh no, not at all. That's not my call.
No.
Singing.
Never could carry a note like that.
Right.
No.
I could carry it. I just didn't. I didn't know where I was carrying it. All right. So we're digging into seeing the value in your process. After you overcome the fear and the lack of confidence, when you're going through the process of whatever your goal is, whatever your change is, do you value what you're going through? Okay. I had how you got to talk it a little bit, and I'm getting better with this, talking it out so you know the point that you was trying to make in the beginning. So yesterday on the Purposeful Forever show, we were just kind of answering questions of our past and like comparing notes. And then one of the questions was, would you go back to high school if you could? Would you go back to high school?
Sure, man. High school was one of my best days, man. Boy, I was a man in high school, boy.
All right. Well, you, Pastor, would you go back? Right. I'm with you. I was about to say, am I the only man that would never? Okay, Jay, there you go, Jeff. Me too. Like, never.
What?
Never.
Oh my God.
High school. Yeah. You know what, Kaneem?
Did y'all not have any fun in high school?
No.
I had a lot of fun in high school.
No, mine.
You don't want to go back to
mine
the
was
fun?
like a little.
Well, you didn't pay that one bill. You didn't pay that one bill. Man, I want to go back to fun and no bills.
Sam said, "Oh, Richard said, oh, heck no, you crazy." He said, "Right, Jeff."
What? Oh,
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate high school. I had fun in high school. Yeah.
It was,
but I
wouldn't
rough. Go back. I'm not trying to do that again. I hate homework.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I didn't do homework. I didn't do anything.
You see that? Sam said she paid bills. Yeah, she paid bills.
Oh, my bad, Sam. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, I paid bills in high school. It was called Levi's saddle seat or Levi's 501 jeans, penny loafers.
I got you.
Man, high school was the bomb. But then again, I wasn't there for education. I was there for straight socializing. So
yeah,
gotcha. See,
yeah, high school for you was the set.
Right.
Yeah, hey, I'm trying to tell you, it was like it wasn't quite lean on me, but real close. You know?
Okay.
It wasn't quite that bad.
Right.
It was definitely close.
I mean, so the question is, are you looking at going back to do something different, or just having, like, if you had that, if you had the opportunity to live that experience again, would you choose it? And my answer is no, I would not.
Right.
Yeah, my answer is yes, I would. I would definitely.
Well, hear me out. Let me give you the whole, because I did want to pause and just kind of see how you guys felt about going back, because I just am I the only guy that wouldn't want to go back? But we talked, and with the same knowledge you have now, right, to go back, right? We talked about, like, I don't know, I've spoken about, like, my journey. I wanted to go, like, to music school or whatever, but I just didn't choose that because that wasn't promoted or pushed or whatever. So my wife's like, yeah, you would go back for that, but just think about, like, I thought about the lives that were lost in high school. Like, I'll see my parents again, I'll see my aunt again, like, my wife's like, how focused would you be in your life when you know so much information, right? Like, I know some kids that died right prior to graduation. I know another guy, like, I don't know if he took a Mickey. I don't know what happened to him, but he just kind of lost his mind. He just kind of roaming the streets of Roosevelt now. Real talk. Like, I would try to find him. Like, it's like, I think I would go on the saving crusade. Like, hey, what I need you to do is to never, ever, go here. Trying to save lives. Like, listen, I need you not to get involved in this. You're telling other people, like, hey, I know it's rough right now. Just hang in there, because I know their life has gotten better. Like, you're going through a good process. Going to my homeboy's house, hugging his parents because I know they passed. Like, just how focused would you be on doing better?
You want to go back with a mature mindset.
Right. Like, what
I'm thinking about
40 plus year old mindset.
I'm thinking like going back in high school with my high school mindset. Yeah. But you're talking about,
I left it open till I wanted to get
going back.
My male man 40-year-old mindset back.
If I went back to high school with what I know now,
yes,
I'd be in prison. Because you would always, because at 16, you think you're smarter than everybody already.
Right.
So if you actually are, then you're dangerous.
Right. Now I know I'm smarter than.
Yeah, and you're going to take risks that your age can't afford.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like these clothes don't fit.
Right. That's it.
Man, if I went back with the knowledge and the maturity that I got right now, I don't know.
You down.
Right.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Like I said,
you see, like that's like your pride talking now. But imagine going back and you got the answer, and they're immature, so they don't have the wisdom that you have. They just gonna be mad. He think he know everything, and the haterism would be insane.
But I beg to differ because I'm more mature than that. My knowledge base is.
You're proving my point right now.
I mean, okay, because okay, so
you can't go to high school sounding like everybody's dad.
But how you know? But I'm just saying, that's probably how you would go to high school.
Right. Okay. So hold on, Pastor. So if I say Casey, Lord, can he? That's it. Yo, Casey.
Not him.
So today, like you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, you know, what's that movie? Not movie. What's that show? Quantum Leap. You know, you wake up. You know, I guess you'll be in your grandparents' house or in your house. Like you wake up, you're like, oh snap! I actually went back. Right, looking. You know what your day to day looked like.
Yeah.
You know, like would you kind of jump back into? Not really jump back into, but you would go to, you know, where your homeboys at, you know where you meeting at, you know where your spots at, you know what you're about to do. How would what would you different? How would you kind of shift that? Like
if I jump back into a teenage body,
right,
with a 40-year-old mind,
right,
you know, man, I ain't no telling how great I could be. He talking about getting killed and going, I ain't no telling how great I could be. It just depends on what I want to focus on. Because now that I know I can move in circles and adapt to situations and manipulate conversations, I ain't no telling how I could be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not concerned not one bit. I would go back and be great.
What I'm saying. So would you? Because like I was saying with me, would you go back knowing like the outcome of some of your people, right? Would you try to help them? You understand what I'm saying? Like anybody that you know got killed, anybody that you know.
I know a lot of dudes that got killed.
Would you try to do something about that? That's the biggest, right? It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Of course I would. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a buddy of mine, Balo, we was in 7th grade together. He got killed. You know, now it's 7th grade. We 13, 14 years old. And he got killed. Broke into some dude's car, and they dragged him into the back of a apartment building in the complex, beat him up, and then shot him. I probably, if I went back, I could probably help Balo out.
That.
You know
Right.
So here's it's I think the narrative is changing.
Yeah.
Because you're saying going back with everything that I learned from my experience about myself and about everybody around me, then that's totally different. What I'm saying is you go back and you have all this information. 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds did not listen to reason, don't listen to reason. The majority of them do not.
100%.
I consider myself a pretty laid back, and I was still a knucklehead as a teenager. And I didn't listen to reason. I made my own decisions. A lot of it, I made my own decisions, and that's just the truth. But if I went back with the future, then I'm trying to tell people this is what's going to happen to you if you don't stop this. What is their response going to be if they're 15? Those aren't going to be my friends. I'm going to be the nerd because I'm the one who's thinking about the future. I'm not the one who's living in the now. I'm the one who's saying, oh, no, that's not good. That's not healthy. I promise you 10 years from now, you're going to regret that. What? Man, go on somewhere. They won't be my friends because the people that I hung out with did the stuff that I did. And the people that were considered, you know, the future of America weren't in my crew.
Fun mindset, we're not wasting time like golf and verse clubs, right?
Yeah, like I said, I know I would go back and I would still have a ball, just like Sean was saying. But like my buddy, I believe that we would move differently because I would know stuff that he wouldn't know. Instead of us being shoulder to shoulder, he would be a follower of me. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely like, hey man, let's go do this, let's go do that.
Yeah,
I know what the outcome is.
Because you're living through the lens of someone who watched their life. You're living through the lens of someone who's laying on a hospital bed wondering, am I going to survive this? So your perspective today is different. So taking that perspective all the way back, you're going to be a totally different person because you know what's coming. But what I'm saying is young people think they know what's coming.
Yeah.
We're idiots as young people. We really are. And what's amazing to me is, Kaneem, I see you. I see you as a person of influence. I really do. That's real. It sounds like what you're saying is you could have the same friends and everybody just move different because you know different going back. And I would love to believe that. I just feel like in my experience, when I look at young people even today, and we've all seen them come and go. We've seen the ones that consider themselves having their act together, and we've seen the ones who just act in a plum fool. You go from one extreme to the other. And the reality is, in most cases, they look like their friends. I have friends from when I was young who said, man, I always knew you was going to do something. Even though I was a knucklehead out there with them, they always said, you always knew when to go home, B. You always knew when to go home. And I'm like, but none of y'all went home with me.
Right. Because we weren't done. We weren't done.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, good morning,
and I'm
sir.
saying, because that's the mindset of young people.
Right.
You know, they want to try it. They want to do it. And you knowing the outcome, no, you're good. If they don't listen, you're going to just go, all right. Yeah. Don't call me when you need bail money.
Wow.
And they'd be like, peace, see you.
Wow.
And then you go home because you know better, but not everybody does. And that's just the mindset of young people. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's Bible.
Right.
Children think like children.
Indeed.
What's up, B?
What's going on?
Jeff says, Pastor, so right. My dad was operating a multi-million-dollar company, and at 15, I thought he was a big dummy. Right. Those moments. So I bring that up just to, because of, like, if you go back and you would try to do things different, move differently, but do you see the value of the process, right? Because some things you wouldn't know had you not gone through, possibly, some things you wouldn't know of experience, some places you wouldn't be in. Because it's funny, my wife and I was talking. For me, like, I went away to school, and in retrospect, I would be home for school. For her, she wanted to go away for school, so she'd have been away, I'd have been here. Like, the chance of us probably coming together would be slimmer. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
as much as I'm getting an echo, as much as Justin. Okay, nope, not him. Nope. Maybe it's Pastor this morning.
I was just texting you that.
I don't hear an echo.
I hear echo on AD.
Yeah, you can. It's more or less when you got the headphones on, because you can hear everything. Just turn the volume down a little bit, Pastor. So yeah, it's like, though we would want, I would probably love to go back with more knowledge. Okay, Rollins said here too. Okay, there we go. We're good. With that, having that knowledge would be great, but I think it would screw up our process. You understand what I'm saying? Though there's certain things I know, like, you're like, man, I'd probably drink water. Like, I'd have done a lot of stuff, had this mindset of doing things a lot differently. Like I said yesterday, going to the doctor more, things of that nature. For myself, just some of my relationships, I wouldn't have, like, I've met some really influential people that I just let slip through my hands. Like, I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, let's go hang out. I know where you're going. Like, but
Same here,
we would have missed part of our process. And so today I just kind of want to talk about seeing the value in your process. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know we don't live in regret, but there's always those coulda, woulda, shoulda moments, that you see something, even now, like, you like, oh man, I wish I jumped on that. Or someone in your lane jumped on something that you hesitated with and it did something great. You're like, oh, I should have jumped on when they was on it. But I couldn't see it. I didn't see it at the time. And so seeing the value, do you see the value in your process, or do you not live in regret or have a lot of those coulda, woulda, shoulda moments? Do you really see the value in your process? Because we all still in the process. Each, we move up a notch, we celebrate, but it's a new process. It's a new journey that we're taking through our next level or whatever it may be bringing us. So my question is, do you see the value in your process?
You know,
Wow.
hindsight is 2020,
Right.
and as I look back, I see the value in a whole bunch. I
Right.
see the value of staying at my mama house. You feel me? And
Right.
if I could go back, I would
Right.
forget what everybody, male or female, would have to stay, and I would stay with my mama, and get me a Rolls Royce or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Sit there, act right, be
Right.
respectful,
Right.
and enjoy being a child.
Right.
Um, I see
Right.
value.
Right.
I'm the same way with relationships.
Right.
I mean, hand in hand, the phone number in my phone with franchise owners and Mac, they own all them Church's Chickens, and but just didn't see the value in it. And a big part of it was I wanted them to take me serious, and I wasn't ready. So I'm not gonna come talk to you about my dreams. You own 37 Popeyes, and I'm sitting here talking about what I want to do with one thing here.
Right.
So there, I want to be taken serious. So I'm just gonna skip the opportunity altogether, and not understanding or appreciating that part of my process. That I
Right.
won't, something in my head made me feel like I had to be a big dog before I can go ask a big dog how you be a big dog. And it's like
Mm.
it's a messed up thought process. And when those opportunities are gone, you appreciate them then. And the
Right.
real push is to see that is to feel that I have value in my future, that my
Right.
best days aren't behind me, that all my opportunities is yesterday.
Right.
To feel like I will meet some more influential people, to
Right.
feel like I
Right.
will end up going somewhere else. And
Right.
if you believe that you have that future, then you put more into the current process.
Right.
But I've licked my wounds. I sat here and pouted about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and
Right.
what was I thinking, and
Right. What was I
and
thinking about?
wanting it now, and all those
Yeah.
things. But you got to move on because uh, that now part of the process, it's a struggle because you be wanting it now. So
Right.
being in the moment don't always feel like man, I'm not where I want to be. Because if I stop for
Right.
a second to dream, man, I got some big old dreams, and that don't
Right.
look like nothing like my present situation. So it can be a little disheartening. So yeah, you definitely got to trust the process, but it's important just to see the value. Period. If you can
Right.
see the value, then you'll hang on, you'll fight for it, you do what you got to do. But
Right.
do you see it?
Do you see the process?
Boom.
Do you see the process? Man, it's hold on. This give you a moment for pause. He said, "Ease buddy on right, buddy on
Yeah,
15 Popeyes. I'm ordering 2,000 order of curly fries." He said,
Yeah.
he
yeah,
said, all the hard stuff I went through as a kid growing up is exactly what made me win as I grew into an adult. Right, the hard
yeah,
stuff is what I learned. It's crazy. Like yeah, you say the franchise. Like I knew a guy. I had a buddy who had parents bought like what was it Arby's? This is like the '90s, so Arby's wasn't dead yet, so they were still kind of thriving. So I it's those moments like, oh man, the people to connect to, like the people to stay close to, the
yeah,
information, the people that come in front of you that are trying to position themselves to help you, you know, um, and you realize like, okay, you like you said, you had a moment, man, I missed that opportunity. But it's like now coming to a space where you're trying to be more aware, of the people around you, the opportunities that come in front of you, the conversations that you have, you know,
yeah,
I think it becomes better and trying to at least, I think like for me, I don't know about you guys, like trying to get your children on the learning curve, like, okay, let me save 15 years of your life or something. Like let me help you out. Like I keep drilling into my kids, children, like boom, boom, like listen, this is you need to focus. This is telling you. And I know, but like you said, Pastor, like when you're young, you know it all. I don't even
yeah,
know
yeah. You do.
how. I don't even know where, but I guess because you're so young, everybody just look old. you know, 40 was old. That's 40.
Yeah.
Like
Don't sleep on
40.
that energy, man. That energy
Right.
that youth has. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
I'm working, I'm grinding. I've been up since 6 something, 5 or
Right.
6 something.
Right.
I'm at it. But like
Right.
I already know how I work, but my body is on its way down. You feel me? I'm gonna get me some lunch in another second, a pot of coffee. You know, put that second cup on. You feel me? Got to pick up the
Yes.
kids, and then
Yes.
do those last meet. But I can see my day going down. But
Right.
when you young, the strength,
Right.
that vitality, that energy, I would
Right.
come after school, play 4 back-to-back basketball games, and still be looking around the neighborhood like, bro, what is next? You feel me? Like it's
Right.
energy, get up and go, and
Right.
that energy, that strength, it gives you
Right.
confidence, man. So
Definitely.
what's this challenge? What's that challenge? Whatever
Right.
it is, I can take it.
Yeah.
Strength can be misleading.
Right.
And when you don't have that much strength, you move a little more careful. Like,
Right.
you know what? I'm not going to
Right.
engage that because that's going to take a little bit more energy than what I got. It's a pace and a
Yeah.
wisdom that comes as you get older. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them kids. They of course they think they can take on the world. They full of
Right.
energy, full of
Right.
strength. You know
But
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what's interesting about that is knowing what you know now, you would push yourself even more because you
Oh
know
man.
there's so much more possible because you've seen it
Yeah.
in other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At your age
Definitely.
now, you know
Right. You know the
your body
possibilities.
could do more,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So the question is, would you push too hard?
Yeah, I would.
Because you know
I would.
what you're, like,
Yeah.
because like, man, I mean, it's interesting. You ask someone if money was not an issue,
Right.
What would you do?
what would you be doing right now? Right?
Right.
I mean, I honestly, out of the four of us, this is just me. When I look at us on this panel, Kaneem, when you see him pop in and pop out, Kaneem looked like a person who is self-sufficient, independent, and has a lot of money.
Yes, he
Right.
does.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, like, he looks like he controls his entire domain.
Right. Right.
And you know what's interesting? He does.
Right.
Right. But if you ask him, I don't know if I said, Kaneem, you got a couple of $1 million in the bank?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's Kaneem.
Oh, my bad. KC, you got
No,
it.
KC.
I don't have $1 million in there.
Right. But here's the
it's
thing.
under the mattress. That's where you keep it.
But here's the thing. But when you talk, watch this. But when you talk,
Yeah.
you don't talk like a person that has any financial challenges. You don't
Right.
talk like a person who works for anybody but himself.
Right.
You don't talk like a person who has to answer to anyone.
Anybody. Right.
You talk like an independent individual. I'm saying, like, for someone out here who just doesn't know, right?
Right.
That's what you look like.
Right.
So when you talk about appreciating the process and the value of and thank you, Jeff. Jeff just validated, because
Right.
Jeff ain't never hung out with you. He only knows you from here.
Right.
And he says that's true.
He
That's
the
what it
money
looks
man.
like.
Right.
We didn't have some secret
Yes,
deal
it is.
going on the side, Jeff. I'll give you $20 later. Right? All I'm
Right.
saying is, you think about the process that you went through.
Right.
And from the outside looking in, the value of today is far worth the process.
Right.
Right? And all I'm saying is, if you had to do all over again, we wouldn't even know you.
Man, I'm gonna have to start talking like I got financial issues then, because y'all perspective is a little bit greater than what I think it is.
Yeah, but the thing is, the process has you carrying yourself this way.
Yeah, my cash app is Kaneem Curry. Dollar sign.
Dollar
Dollar
sign.
sign.
Don't forget the dollar sign.
For all y'all
Don't
that
forget
listening, you want to bless me.
Yeah.
Dollar
I
sign.
ain't got it.
Kaneem Curry. That's K-A-N.
Yeah, but you know what it says, though. What it says is, if it was there,
man.
how much would have to change?
Right. Right. Right.
If what was there?
If all the money was there, if the financial independence was there,
Right.
from a personality standpoint, how much would have to change? Because if that's how people perceive you today, if the money was there, how much would have to change about your mindset, your personality?
I mean, as far as being self-sufficient, I've always tried to be that since I was a young teenager. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't have no brothers and sisters, and my mama was on the struggle, my daddy was on the struggle. So I started buying my own clothes when I was 12, 13 years old. I wanted to look like what I saw on TV, and I know they couldn't afford it, so
Yeah.
I had to go out there and get it. What by any means necessary. I wanted Jordans. I wanted FUBU. I wanted Lotto. I wanted. Whatever was out there. I wanted it.
Aeropostale.
Nights. I wanted
Aeropostale.
it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your bold
So that's
jeans.
what. Yeah, you feel me? I wanted it all.
I had those.
I wanted to look just like
All
everybody. I
seasons.
wanted to wear a polo every day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It was just, but I knew my parents couldn't afford it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
I was like, okay, well, how you gonna get it? You got to go out
FUBU.
there and do what you got to do.
Jeff. Yes. Jeff said poop. No, FUBU.
Yeah,
FUBU.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
We'll send you a pair, Jeff.
Right.
The Bill Cosby collection. If you
Hey,
don't know.
I had some shoes that looked like Jordans, but the Nike swoosh was upside down, and they were called Jeepers.
Jeepers. Oh my
Jeepers.
goodness.
It literally was the Nike swoosh, but it was upside down.
We used to call them Pumas.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Who was in after?
Yeah, Puma. No, Puma was straight square at the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that's what we used to call them, Pumas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I never heard of Jeepers or Creepers or whatever you had on your
Believe me, in Chicago, probably only people in Chicago living in the hood knew about Jeepers.
Yeah, I know. Never heard of that.
I don't think it was a national chain.
Yeah, right. They were just local. They were local.
I think the last pair of shoes my mama got me was some Kids.
Kids.
Is that was that Payless?
That was the last pair of shoes my mama got me was some Kids.
Was Kids Payless?
I think so. I forgot about those.
I got my Kids from Kmart.
Yeah,
Okay. So here's something we discovered about Payless shoe stores.
Okay.
Back in Kankakee, we found out one day that when Payless, when they couldn't sell shoes, whatever shoes they had left over in stock, they would put a slit in the side of the shoe and just throw them in the dumpster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Payless shoe store would put a slit along the side of the shoe and just throw them in the dumpster.
Yeah, that's how you did them out.
Went dumpster hopping.
Oh, wow.
Got those shoes, took them to a seamstress, stitched up the sides, and we was wearing Payless with stitched up.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen.
Ingenuity, man. Ingenuity.
There you go. Wow. So Ross said, nope. Kids was my wife's shoes. I didn't know they made them for men. Yeah. I remember.
And then after them came the y'all remember the Sauconys.
Oh yeah.
John Rollins sounds like he was privileged.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember them Sauconys.
I was trying to get them
I don't know about those. I don't know about them Sauconys.
You don't know about Sauconys, man?
With the little dots on the side.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
Same shoe, 30 different colors.
No.
Yeah, man. But when we was kids, your wardrobe was the only value you was trying to build.
Exactly.
Tommy Hilfiger shirts and polos and Vizu jeans. You were trying to build all that stuff. And that's why, like, I'm not saying like when those kids kill themselves, I know it seems crazy, but if you think about how small a kid's world is, to be wearing a fake FUBU jersey, to get picked on for some Jordans, whatever, your mind, especially young boys, is only on a few things. You know what I'm saying? So, if that comes crashing down, them kids feel like they'll commit suicide. Those thoughts will come because that's their whole world. They ain't got no concept of bills and the future, and that's
I
kind
know
of
I
that
did.
ignorance of youth. You got all the strength you need, you got all the time you need. It just feels everything is all
Right
you see
there.
is what's right in front of you, man. Like
Right.
literally
It's
a
deep.
few steps.
It's
You know what I'm
deep.
saying?
Yeah.
So somebody coming talking about HVAC school,
I
medical
mean, think
school.
about it.
How in the world I'm gonna be 16 years old, giving you 8 years of my life? I can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's what I
It's
mean,
deep.
man. You mess around and
It's
get
deep.
knocked out trying to.
It's deep.
Think about
So
it.
everybody,
Yeah. What you
Like,
talking
come
I
on,
had
about?
man.
somebody tell me that,
Getting
like,
enough of that in
to get me
school.
in the business. They was like, yeah, just, and I probably was up maybe like 18, 19. It's like, in 10 years, whoa, I
Yeah.
shut down. You said 10 years.
Like,
10
come on,
years of
bro.
my
I
life.
can't get past the next 10 minutes, and you talking about 10 years,
10 years. 10
Yeah.
months. Like,
right?
what?
Sound
Is
like
Batman getting
commitment.
ready to come on TV?
Right.
I got things to do.
I
Yeah.
got things to do.
Back,
But
back
it's
in the
crazy.
day, give me 2 days and I'm gonna have you a whole lot of money. I'm big old duffel bag for the money.
Yeah.
I just need 2 days.
And for real, if you talking to somebody who got the money coming in, that is a harder sell. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
seems like
100%.
longer money. It seems like more hassle,
100%.
and it's not always sexy either. Tell
Yeah.
people you gonna have to deal with racist professors and
Right.
people on campus trying to mess with you and put
Right.
people in some uncomfortable situations. It's some of this corporate American stuff ain't the sexiest sell either. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't guarantee you nothing on the entrepreneurship route. So
Right.
I ain't mad at the kids, but it's just I wish they understood that they're not making the most informed decision. You feel me? The things
Not
you're
being
taking
exposed, man.
yeah, they gonna have to get out
Not being
there and see.
exposed.
Exposure is big. That
Yeah,
is.
that's why I say when I was growing up, I put it like this here. I used to go out of town all a lot with my mama and my granddad and all the time. So
Right.
when I got 18 and I went to the Navy, that was it was big of me when I went there because I was like, oh, okay. But once I went to California, it was a wrap. I'm
Right.
like, I'm 18, bam, California. Then I'm North Carolina. Then I'm in St. Louis. Then I'm in
Right.
Louisville. Then I'm
Right.
in Chicago. Then I'm back to Philadelphia. I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm just
Right.
all over the country. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
just bam, 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 and I ain't even 25 yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm like,
Right.
oh, this what they was
Right.
talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right.
But like I say, I didn't get no real employment until I got to Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Like
the
like a W-2 job.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I didn't do that until I got to Georgia. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and I was in my mid to late 20s when I got here.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I had to I had a formal work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn from other cats like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to do it. When you used to getting up and going to sleep whenever you want to.
So
You
whenever
know
you
what I'm
want to,
saying?
or
Clocking in and mess with you.
I had to adjust because my
your own
life
time.
adjusted. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
it's that's why when you say go back to high school,
Right.
my go back is a lot different than everybody else's
Right.
because I was doing a lot different than everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's interesting though? I heard you say it was funny when you said it. You mean like a W-2 job,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that
Right.
caught me.
Right.
That caught
Yeah.
me, right? It really
Yeah.
caught me because I want you to really think about what KC just said. Like a W-2 job.
Right.
He learned that when he got here. And
Yeah.
yet today
Yeah.
he works for himself. He's not on the W-2
Right.
job.
Right.
So the mentality that he had all the way back then,
Right.
even coming and finding the W-2 job,
Right.
he still has the same mindset of doing his own thing and coming up on his own. No W-2. Because last time I don't think you have a W-2 today.
No, I ain't got one today. but I might need to go get one the way y'all perceiving me.
Oh, stop playing. Let me hold that million.
I
Let me
might
get
need to
alone.
go clock
Yeah,
in
He
somewhere.
ain't
Like,
fooling me, man.
like,
He ain't
Nah,
fooling me.
like,
look, it's a transition moment. That's all it is.
hey,
Don't try to
yeah.
listen to KC. Don't listen to him. He is
You about to You about to get a whole bunch of Cash App requests. Like, hey, I'm blind. I need some.
I just told you, $sign Kaneem Curve. Hey, that man.
That's where you send your request to. $Kaneem.
Oh,
request.
I think
Send
your
that
money.
request.
Yeah, man.
Question.
But that exposure is probably one of the most critical pieces to that process, man. Early on, man. So I think at some point you're gonna need an OG that kind of can school you. But as I look back, I passed a lot of OGs, man. But if I just wasn't ready, I met a dude at FedEx, put me on game. Get your credit score here and buy 2 trucks. I mean, there's a million routes, a million ways to go about it, and a lot of people out there really doing it. But it got to be that perfect moment of OG that ain't jealous, don't mind sharing the information, know what he talking about, and then some youngster that's ready to listen and take heed to what they saying. But the exposure part probably is the first thing that a young kid needs, like because Kaneem talking about going to all over America. My mind got blown, and I went from South Florida to North Florida. You know what I'm saying? Some Duval boys act way different than we do down at the bottom. So it's if that can happen within 5 hours of one state, the more you get exposed to, same thing I'm trying to do with my kids, right? I need to take y'all to a fancy hotel so some, joker don't come and show y'all a Motel 6 and y'all be like, your mind all blown. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how I can expose them, not in a flossing sense, but that just so that some things can seem regular. You know what I mean? Just don't want their mind blown at the easiest little. Y'all know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's trying to get them out there and trying to get them seeing the same thing. I could have benefited from too. If you think about certain incomes, and I want to put it out there, but like if you think about certain incomes and certain things, okay, so let's say somebody making $75,000 a year, and I'm saying that is a lot of money. I'm just trying to do an average, and they make a 75 a year. Or let's say the household is making 100K, and that family owns a duplex.
Mm-hmm.
That's not common for everybody, but that's not unusual. That's probably somebody still clocking in, still got a W-2 job. You feel me? Like that's normal, but you have to see that in order for that to realize that that's normal. Otherwise, you're gonna think you watching. I forget the guy's name who used to be the rich and famous guy that come on all the time, the British guy. So like you gonna think you watching the lifestyles of rich and famous.
Lifestyle of rich and famous. Robin Lee. Yeah, I was trying to remember his name. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Because you hear I used to hear his voice and like, all right, man, I'm really pissed to see how people who just
hello, I'm Robin Leach, and this is the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Was he Australian or British? But yeah, that guy,
British Australian, right?
I used to think that's all right. I'm about to witness how everybody else lives. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to be something I can accomplish unless I hit the lotto. It's not going to be something I can accomplish as some biggest drug dealer or I'll play some sport. This is just something that's far out of the normal person's reach, and it's really not. You know what I'm saying? Now some of that stuff here, I can't afford a $250,000 car and eat pork chops. But I'm just saying there's some things that you can do that are normal, but you got to understand that is normal. You got to be exposed to that as normal. I got to have an uncle that got a job and a property, and he drive his boat on the weekends or something like that. So I got to see that that's happening. But if I'm in a situation, everybody's struggling, and then Kadeem come talk about, you can get you 2 properties and then get this little job with the county, and I'm gonna be like, what he talking about? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what makes our drug dealers in certain communities super attractive. Like, man, look at him. He in the same spot I'm in, but he able to afford it. Man, come on. And it don't take that much. You can get a Charger, you can get a fresh white tee and some Jordans. In the hood, that look like a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
That was the dress. That was the hood uniform right there. We had Dickie suits and white tees. That was it.
Come on. Fresh crest.
I'm talking about starchy Archie. That's what we call them. I'm talking about a crease that'll cut you. You know what I'm saying?
A crease that'll cut you.
Yes, sir. So that made it easy, and then you got the Air Force Ones, and this stuff ain't overly expensive, but it looks like that person's carefree. It looks like that person's getting to it. It looks like that person is where I want to be. And of course, you don't always see the other side of that, but But even that, expose them to that real quick. See how that go. You know,
Yeah.
be on the street when the Raiders come. Yeah, see how they get locked up on a sweep.
Right.
You know, and it'll make you say, oh, maybe I don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a powerful conference out here. I think they're doing in Columbus, Georgia. I went a couple years ago by this, not to plug another organization, but the organization happened to be Let Us Make Man, and it's a whole bunch of lawyers and social media people, whatever. And they always start the conference off with this. For y'all who know Big Meech, they read his letter. You know, they tell you about how much he spent. You know, Meech had them giraffes at the birthday party and all the animals and stuff. But then they read his letter to the judge, and they kind of pick at him a little bit, you know, but how he, you know, pleading for his life and please reverse all this. But they trying to wake the kids up, the young men up to the fact, you know, they trying to show them both sides. And then they start the rest of the conference or whatever. But they trying to expose kids to the whole big picture. And I'm beating a dead horse, but that's what the whole point of the kids just see what's in front of them. You know what I'm saying? They don't get the other side. And when you see what's in front of you, if you feel like you got enough energy to take it, and you and don't be in a situation where you feel like it's this or nothing, it's really gonna encourage that person to ignore any other advice, sound or not, and go after what they see. You can get this tomorrow. You go get this, you get involved in that, you do this, and you'll have that by the end of the week. But McCory wants you to go to medical school. But get out of here. You know, come on. It's a no-brainer.
You got to have consistent and sustained exposure to a positive environment. You know what I'm saying? You can't just dip and dab. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was over here for a week, and then you go back to your negative environment for a year. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta it gotta be consistent and constant for a longer period of time. That's the only way you're gonna do it. You know, I mean, as far as my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because I know once I left Houston,
got out of the environment,
I didn't have nothing but positive stuff around me. You know, I still was looking for that negative element because I was I was used to it. So I was comfortable. I was comfortable in it. But when I wanted to change and be more civil, I knew that I had positive folks, you know what I'm saying, extending their hand, and it was up for me to grab it and hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? So I made that choice to hold on to positive folks around me as a stepping stone to get to a different station. You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to steadily put one foot on the ladder and just keep on progressing. So but it still took consistency and time in a positive environment for me to understand what I really needed for myself to survive and thrive without being in harm's way. And I'm talking about penitentiary or having cats, you know what I'm saying? Because when you in that negative environment, everybody's shooting for you. Whether you know it or not, everybody coming for you. You know what I'm saying? When they see you doing well, the jealousy sits in, and you know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy though. But
so
man,
you had any major moment that pushed you, or you just saying it was over the time, or did you have like a moment that say, nah, this is a wake up moment for me. Let me go ahead and start turning this tide.
You talking about
you personally, like
I mean, me coming to Georgia was a tide turner. You know what I'm saying? When all my brothers was getting locked up and going to the cemetery, that was going to prison or going to the cemetery was options I had, and I ain't like now one of them. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, hey,
but in the space that you were in, that was like always part of the life. Like, so what kind of made it real? You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew that it could happen, or maybe in your mind you're like, I'm not gonna get caught until folks close enough to you was getting caught, kind of thing. Was that made it more real?
Too, and I was my daughter was like
Okay.
And she was like 5,
Okay. Okay.
4 or 5.
Right.
And you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And you know, I'm like, I wanted to do different than what my parents did.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
and,
That's when it started
and like,
shifting.
yeah,
Okay.
and so that was kind of like, if I'm dead,
Right.
I'm no gonna be I'm not gonna be able to teach her about the birds and the bees. I'm not gonna be able to teach her how to
Right.
fish.
Right.
I
Exactly.
want to be the first dude to show her how to change the tile. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So things
Right.
like that, I thought about,
Right.
and it was just kind of it was a wake up call, but I was still immature. But I
Okay.
was struggling with my immaturity, and
Right.
so
Right.
it was a struggle. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying. But I knew I wanted to be there for her,
Right.
and I knew I wanted to do something different than what I was doing because I knew I wasn't going back to my mama house. I left there at
Right.
17, so I'm like going back to her house is a
Uh,
no brainer. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna never do it. So, but that was just my story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
and
wanted something different.
I got you.
know,
That makes
in
sense.
that process, like even when you coming out of it, you know what I'm saying, there's a process of coming out of it too. Like you
Mm.
know, like the trauma that you have. And maybe trauma too strong of a word, but I'm saying after years of and not to call out any particular vice, but after years of doing things that even any of y'all would consider not the right move no more. I don't care that smoking, drinking, or watching too much Netflix. Just whatever you like, man. I got to get off that. I gotta step my game up. Whatever your step the game up was, you still got years of doing it versus years of not. So I got
Oh yeah,
17 years of clowning, wasting time. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then here I am, frustrated that in 6 months I ain't where I want to be, bro.
Right.
You know it all. You know, clowning, Netflix, doing whatever the thing is, all that stuff second nature at this point. You know,
Right.
and I think you got to have appreciation for the trauma. Man, like, is that word too strong? But like the trauma of your past decisions. You feel me? And
it
coming
it
out of
it,
that stuff.
it is trauma. It's trauma when you reflect on all the everybody that fell around you.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Whether they fell to prison or whether they fell to the cemetery, you know what I'm saying? It's still traumatic because
yeah,
y'all had a bond that was like a brotherhood, and all of a sudden you snap your fingers and it's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like ain't no smooth transition. You know, like if somebody was sick and you knew they was about to pass, or if you know that you got the end of your job is about to come and they didn't gave you forewarning. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
It's just a snap of the
Oh,
finger.
so
Oh, he gone.
gone.
What's name got picked up last night?
gone.
You don't see him no more.
Right.
Yeah,
You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He gone for years. You know what I'm saying? You don't see him
Right.
no more.
that's
What's
traumatic.
name got shot last night? And he gone.
Right. Gone.
Yeah,
You
Just
know what I'm
gone.
saying?
Wow.
It's like a light switch. You know what I'm
Right.
hmm,
saying? So
Right.
yeah, I mean, so
That's true.
trauma would be the perfect word to say about it, but how you deal with it and and
Right.
and and how you I guess kind of like your own grieving process
hmm,
because
Right.
everybody grieve differently. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So even when your homeboy go to prison, you still grieving.
yeah,
Yeah.
Y'all ain't
Right.
y'all ain't
Right.
y'all ain't
Could you say that again for the people in the back?
yeah, for real. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
problem is that in the streets or in that environment, y- you got to conceal that. You can't grieve a certain way.
Mm.
You got to chalk it to the game. You got to say he
Right.
knew what it was. He a
That's the
Right.
thing.
soldier. Oh,
Right.
he did what? Oh no, but that boy soldier. That's
Yeah.
trauma,
Yeah.
bro. That's
Right.
trauma. And like
Right.
that's why I'm not saying it's the only way. It was my way. But when you trying to get out of a
It's
certain
right.
situation, I feel you need
Right.
to relocate. You know what I'm saying? And I know others have successfully uh relocated in the same spot. But for me, I had to physically move my location to help kind of just break up from it. I just feel like if you're trying to get away from a certain thing, you gotta get around from all of that because it's hard to kind of But
And
I
that's the
know others
same
have
reason
done
why
it.
it's hard to go back home when you have broken free, because it's still traumatic for those who have witnessed you get out and make
Yeah,
something happen and they have not.
yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
That's trauma.
100%.
yeah,
And people don't know how to manage that trauma, which is why a lot of people who make it out go back and don't and lose their lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people can't handle the trauma of your success.
Yeah.
And then you bringing it back here.
And you got tragic stories of people trying to change their life. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make it happen and just going back ain't never been good. You got guys who did 15, 16 years in prison, get home and get shot trying to buy some weed. You know, that's just it's just a sad story, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's and I know everybody's not from that environment or whatever, so I'm not coming against the hood or saying that like that. You can translate it to any situation. But what I'm saying is when you're trying to just do better, I don't care if it's at the golf course, you feel me? And there's a whole bunch of you hanging around a whole bunch of rich and entitled people, and you want to do better. You want to, you know, get it from the mud a little bit more and not just play with high society, whatever. Move from it. It doesn't always have to be some gang banging going on to be a bad situation. You know, you've been at a certain industry for a long time, and you want to remove yourself from the industry, get your behind up, change the resume, and get out of that industry. So it's a lot to it.
So I'm gonna read some of Jeff's comments because I gotta throw something in there real quick. Then we're gonna get out of it. The trauma, I believe, that's what makes us strongest, devastating, usually. But looking back, that's what gives us mental muscle. Yeah, but I got a question for that one. I think where I faltered, he says, is I've always trying to prevent my kids from having to go through any drama.
I hear you, Jeff. That's a tough one.
And he said, talk to real successful people, and you'll find out their beginnings were usually always very meager and a real struggle. I don't like having to go through the trauma. I mean, no one, you know, if Kaneem could pick his life, like, I don't, you know, I could be here, but I don't have to go through. He probably wouldn't want to have to go through what he went through. You understand what I'm saying? The hard parts, you know, the fear of jail or getting shot, you know, like that lifestyle. So I don't feel like you really necessarily have to go through a tough situation to learn and to grow.
You don't. I mean, because my thing, you know, being a black man, you can have fear of losing your life and going to jail, and you do your homework every day.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not out there slinging. You're not out there, you know, hitting the streets hard or anything like that. But I think to your point, and there's 2 points I wanted to make, and I'll try to make them in my short version. I said try.
All right.
What you were alluding to earlier, E, I've learned that entrepreneurs take training, grooming, just like career-minded people take training and grooming. Academics, it's training and grooming. It's all muscle memory. Like, I'm in corporate America because corporate America.
Yeah.
Who took the time to share some things, and I kept asking questions. I asked questions all the way up until I became an engineer, all the way up until I became an architect. I didn't go to school and get the training for it. I got it in, like we would say, in the streets.
Yeah.
It was application. Right. And I grew and I evolved and I elevated. And then I got to a point where, you know, someone says, "Who you working for the man? You working for the man? You working for the man? You need to get out there and make your own money, start your own business." That sounds exciting. I could be like you, but I never got the grooming for it.
Right. And it's the route for somebody.
Right. It works for some, not for everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand? Just like education. Well, you know, without a degree, you can't get into it. No, that's not true.
Right.
However, I believe in education.
Right.
I just know that not everybody's going to have a degree.
Right.
But I would encourage you to do it because it's something you should have at a minimum because you learn something about yourself.
It's beneficial. Yeah.
Right.
It's beneficial. Yeah. Learning how to set goals and accomplish goals.
Everybody.
And celebrate. Right. Without your mother having to make you get up and go to school.
Yeah.
Or your dad. You know, so what I'm saying is it's all grooming. And again, that's why I was saying earlier, Kaneem is not on a W-2 because Kaneem he's learned a culture. He's learned a way to make money and don't get me wrong. We all have to answer to somebody. You answer to your clients, you know, and Alicia is his boss, so I don't care what he says.
You answer to
No,
somebody.
I agree with that 100%. But now I got to leave y'all because I got to go make some money.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes.
Take it easy, bro.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming through. All right. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's all grooming, and
Right.
it's what works for you. It's where you find your comfort. And I believe that each and every one of us can say that we see the value in our individual processes.
Right.
Yeah,
Each of us can say that because we're all better today than we were yesterday.
Right.
but I can't sign off on not going through the struggle though.
You can't sign off on what?
Not going through a struggle.
No, there's struggle. I don't care what path you come from. There's struggle.
Yeah.
There's trauma.
Yeah.
Always.
And you
Yeah.
don't have to go through the same. I'm not going to take my child and ride them through the hood. They don't have to go through the same struggle.
Well,
Like get out there.
maybe
and
they
get
need
shot
to,
at
maybe they
now.
need to ride through the hood. Maybe they need to ride through. Let's
I
get
don't subscribe
right
to that because
there.
I'm saying that doesn't
Right.
that's not, you can't cross that. That's not what's that contextualized. You can't, that can't go
Yeah.
everywhere, right? So like
Right.
you, because everybody don't have a hood, but
Right,
like what I can bet on is life, and I just
Yeah,
don't.
100%.
I don't believe I can't sign off on growth without struggle, and I just feel
It's gonna be a
you gonna
challenge. Yes, 100%.
you're gonna have to
You
go
can't,
through
you
that.
can't protect from
Always.
challenges.
And
There's always
life
gonna
is
be-
life is traumatic. There's no
Yes.
doubt about it. You know,
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Columbine might be an old story, but the survivors of that can still hear the 4th of July and probably get a little shook up. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
they didn't have a hood experience,
Right.
but they had something, you know,
At a moment.
traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think trauma is a part of it all, man. And people have been through countless things. But as far as like the making process, I think the trauma is a necessary ingredient. So
Right. I got you. I mean, I think I guess using the word like trauma is probably what gives me pause, but I guess long as you know how to process and deal with it, I think that's the biggest thing, you know, because some people, you know, are shaken up, and like we talked about yesterday, just that fear, that confidence is shook because you've experienced something, and you know you never want to do it again. Like I'm sure there were children that probably did not want to go back to school.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to ever go back into school again. You know, God forbid if it happened, if they were like, if it's been 2 times, it's just like, yeah, I'm never going back to school. You know, it's how do we deal with the trauma when things happen, or a block happens? How do you get past it? How do you get over it? So that's just something to kind of chew on, because tomorrow is Mental Health Wednesday. So we're gonna be digging further into that, the present forward, and when you get how to stay mentally focused on the things that you're going after, and to limit your distractions, and now adding to that, you know, what's happened in the past, the traumas in the past, how to kind of get over that and get through that.
Can y'all help me with something that's traumatic?
hmm
Sending a text to someone, and you know it's a long text, and you're looking for an expanded answer, and you see the little 3 dots, right? And you're waiting for the text for the response, and all you get back is okay. That's traumatic.
That's traumatic. It's okay. Listen, I
got another trauma.
What's that?
Going to work, you're starting a new job,
Uh-huh.
and you meet a friend on the job,
Right.
only to find out they need a ride to work. Can y'all help me with that?
Yeah, that ain't trauma. I don't know what it is.
Or how about people like us who don't like to ask for help?
Right. Right.
You know, you're lifting something heavy and you have someone standing there. You don't say anything. You don't ask for help. You just look at them and like, you know, you see me trying to lift this thing.
I can't get both sides up.
I have some traumas I need some help with.
Listen, I'm really laughing because I've been the one asked for the rides, but I've been the dude looking for the ride, trying to figure out where people live. Where you? Oh, you live in Henry County? Oh, wow. Stockbridge? Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, Pastor. I got kids that go to such and such school. And we're gonna have a long conversation about the kids, the school, the teachers. And about 10 minutes in that conversation, hey, you mind picking me up? I live right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Or taking my children to the dollar store and end up spending over $100.
That ain't right.
That's dramatic.
That ain't right.
It's not right.
That's not the purpose of all those transactions should be under $35.
I'm just saying.
Oh man,
There's trauma in life, man.
I hear you.
And I hate to be the one behind you, like, really? You behind
Yeah.
all that?
This
They're
will
not,
be a quick run in and a run out.
They're not set up to move fast. They're set up
No.
for 4 or 5 items. They just
Yeah.
boop, boop.
That's it.
They should be, when you got a
Kinda
whole
not
basket,
even that
full, you
big.
looking like, really? No one's gonna open up another register? No. All right, so let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. As we talk about seeing the value in your process, had a great conversation today. So, listen, you know how we do. Tomorrow's Mental Health Wednesday. We're going to dig further into this with our what do they call them? Our resident therapist, Matt Genius. So make sure you are here. Share this out. Tag somebody. Let other people know that the brothers have great things going on. And I don't feel the trauma anymore. I'm going to ask. As Brothers Legacy is growing, go to brotherslegacy.com. Check out the financial literacy course, as well as sign up for an opportunity for you or a loved one to receive a holiday dinner. We're closing that on the 31st. Time is ticking fast, so make sure you sign up for that. And as you see us growing, doing some amazing things, make sure you are pressed. If you feel it way down in your shondo, make sure you give financially to the Brothers of Legacy through Cash App, $BOL 2019, $BOL 2019, or go to www.brotherslegacy.com. Why do you say www? Everybody knows that, right? You go to brotherlegacy.com, go to Beyond Donations, and there's 7 ways to give. You can get it through PayPal. You could be one of our monthly contributors, and if you contribute at least over $100, you'll get okay. You'll get a shirt from us. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time. Not next. Did I just say next week? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Take that back. Tomorrow, same time, same channel. Make sure you share. And if all hearts and minds are clear, everybody good.
All good.
All good.
Yes,
All right. So we see you. Continue to be blessed. 988 mental health crisis. You or someone you love, as well as know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Stay safe. Make good choices, and we'll see you in the AM. Peace out.